What's going on, guys? So I had to go ahead and address a topic that really sucks that I had to talk about, but I do have to go ahead and address it, and that is really the health of our bell cow running back, Leonard Fournette. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you all probably know what's going on with Fournette. Week 1, he goes and plays against the Giants, and in the second quarter, he leaves due to a hamstring injury. You know, he tweaked his hamstring, and then he's out. He didn't play the next week against the Patriots. He didn't play 2 weeks later against the Titans. 3 weeks later, yesterday, against the New York Jets, he returned, and once again in the first half, he re-aggravates that same hamstring, and he doesn't return. So now we have a serious situation going on with Leonard Fournette, and really just his health is not good right now, so we got to figure out what we are going to do about it. Now, first of all, I want to go ahead and say a couple things first, because you know, I was saying a couple things in my previous videos about him that I do kind of want to address. And really, with me, man, I am just like everyone else. You know, most of you guys that watch my video, that follow every single thing I post, and I'm a passionate Jaguars fan. You know, I am as passionate of a Jaguar fan as they come. And really, the only difference between me and you is probably that I post YouTube videos of my thoughts. You know what I mean? I love the Jaguars, man. They are a huge passion of mine, and you know, I love the team, you know, and you guys, I usually, when it comes to Jaguar games, man, I will post a recap right after the game, and I'm usually emotional during a game, man, coming off of either a victory or a loss, and I say a lot of things that 2 days later I kind of take back after I, you know, do another recap of the game. You know, I'll usually rewatch the game. You know, take 48 hours to kind of step back from the situation and evaluate kind of everything that goes on, and then come at you guys with a much cleaner, much more well thought out recap. Just because after the games, man, I get emotional and I say some things that probably shouldn't say. I mean, I remember a big, you know, in a year and a half that I've been doing YouTube, I've learned a lot through it, and I've learned a lot of, mostly learned a lot of lessons. You know, one big lesson I learned is to not go out and bash players. You know, last year I would go out and kill Blake Bortles. I'd go out and just ridicule guys like Marquise Lee, and you know, even Dante Fowler. You know, I went out and kind of made a video questioning his character. I was basically making assumptions about a person when I don't know them at all, and I shouldn't be making character judgments about somebody when I don't know them. You know, those are a couple lessons I've learned. And you know, with Fournette, you know, I went out there and was basically calling him almost a sissy. I mean, I was telling him to take off his high heels and kind of play, kind of thing. And you know, I shouldn't be saying stuff like that. And you know, in yesterday's video, you know, I came out, I was a little frustrated with the whole situation, and said, you know, I said I'm done with Fournette. You know, I don't want to deal with it anymore. And when I said that, I don't mean I'm done with Fournette as a player. You know, I love Fournette, man. When we drafted him, I was super hype. I mean, I'll post a reaction to my to them drafting him up top. You know, I was a big advocate of drafting Fournette. I was so happy when they got him. I just thought he was a generational running back, rare combination of size, speed, and power, and I thought he could be great, man. And no, I don't want to trade Fournette. No, I don't want to cut him. When I say I'm done with Fournette, I mean I'm done with, like, you know, reading up on what Doug Marone's saying in his press conferences, reading tweets from Adam Schefter, you know, seeing reports that Leonard Fournette said he's going to play, then he quickly deletes his tweet. You know, I'm done with, like, in my preview videos talking about him, saying, you know, is Fournette going to play? You know, what we're going to do if he does? I'm just done with all of it, you know. Leonard Fournette, what he needs to do now, he needs to take the time to rest. Come back from this injury, come back healthy, come back 100%, you know. I wouldn't expect to see him for a while. And the thing about, you know, I wouldn't even mind putting him on the IR just because, you know, on the 8-week IR, you know, designated to return. Because the situation with the Jaguars, man, I am very confident that the Jaguars can make it to the playoffs without Leonard Fournette. I am. I'm not very confident that we can win the Super Bowl without Fournette, you know what I mean? And, like, Fournette, man, you know, he needs to take the time to get back to 100%. And, you know, like I said, man, I'm not done with Fournette. You know, we still got 2 years left on his contract after this. You know, he's our running back. He's our bell cow. He just has bad injury problems. And I shouldn't have directed stuff, you know, at Fournette. If Fournette is somehow watching this, you know, first of all, what's up, man? big fan. Second of all, sorry for bashing you. Shouldn't have done that. You know, that's one thing I've learned about, you know, through YouTube. Shouldn't be bashing players. I need to come out with more, you know, I need to realize thousands of people watch each of my videos. So I got to come out here and be more responsible, be the better man, be the bigger man, and just more critique players for what they do on the field. I shouldn't judge, because Fournette, man, he's an important part of the team. You know, it's not like he's probably the most devastated person by this injury. I mean, he loves the game of football. I mean, first of all, you know, he was a guy that after the Jaguars lost the AFC Championship game, he was like crying in a tunnel. You know, he loves the game. Second of all, he has a C on his jersey. He's a captain. He is a leader. Not very often do you have guys in their second year become captains. You know, our captains right now, we have Blake Bortles, fifth-year quarterback. You have Calais Campbell, million-year veteran. Telvin Smith's been with the team for 5 years. You know what I mean? You have these guys that are in there that are captains that are integral parts like of the team. And, you know, I remember when Jason Myers back in the day was missing his kicks. You know, he'd be on the sidelines all alone. The one guy to come up to Jason Myers to cheer him up, to talk to him, was Leonard Fournette. You know what I mean? He's a great team player. He's probably the most devastated person by this injury. He's not a sissy. It's not like he doesn't want to play. It's just a really crappy situation. And I'm not mad at Fournette. I'm just done with this situation. I'm done with just like trying to speculate on his injury. So I want him to take the time to rest and come back healthy. Now the big question is, should we do anything at running back? Because right now we are a team that built their team around a power run game. We didn't go re-sign Al Robinson. We went and signed a freaking left guard to, you know, a bunch of money. You know, we signed him to push people to really help us in that power run game. And I like our running backs. You know, TJ Yeldon. He's been outstanding. I'm a guy. One reason why I wanted them to draft Fournette is because I thought Yeldon sucked. He wasn't very good his second year, but he's been really good, man. Showed great vision. He's great when it comes to, you know, catching passes or pass protection. He's a patient runner. He's not necessarily had the breakaway speed, but he's a good player. I really like Yeldon. And then, you know, Corey Grant's been able to go out there and he's a scheme kind of player. We can scheme up ways for him to get open. You know, fan favorite. Everyone likes Corey Grant. But now we got to figure out if we need to go out and get a power runner. I really do think so. I don't think we should go out and sign an old running back that's on the market like a Eddie Lacy or something like that. I think what we should do is we should try to snag somebody off the practice squad somewhere. Now, we had Brandon Wilds, but, you know, he's had, like, what, 5-6 carries. One of those carries even fumbled the ball. We did get it back in the Patriots game, but I don't like running backs that fumble the ball, man. I wanted to be able to bring in somebody that they could trust more, that has a lot of, like, good college experience, high-level experience. And one guy that comes to mind, one guy that I was wanting the Jaguars to draft in the NFL draft in later rounds, is Bo Scarborough, the former running back out of Alabama. He's currently on a Cowboys practice squad. You know, he's a guy that, a power runner, you know what I mean? He's a power runner. He's used to big kind of games. He played in the SEC West with Alabama. He's played teams like LSU, Auburn. He's been all throughout the college football playoff. He's a guy that has a ton of experience with carrying the rock against big-time competition. And, man, I would love to bring in a guy like Bo Scarborough to be able to maybe carry the rock 5 to 7 times a game. Be able to bring in a power runner, just because right now, you know, Yeldon's not a power runner. He's more of a zone kind of runner. Give the ball to him in a backfield, kind of run it, you know, when you're out of shotgun. And he's a nice player. Corey Grant, you don't want to give him more than 5 carries a game. He's not an in between the tackles kind of runner. So, you know, maybe bring in a guy like Bo Scarborough, see what he has to offer. You know, I think that'd be kind of an intriguing thing to do. But, you know, Leonard Fournette, man, I would expect him to be out for a while. You know, I wouldn't bring him back. You know, I feel like the Jaguars rushed him back. You know, I feel like they probably brought him back when he was, you know, 80, you know, maybe 85, 90% or something like that. And the whole time they were downplaying the injury. And I'm someone that was saying, right, you can go back to my, you know, recap after week 1. I said, you know, all these guys are downplaying this injury. Fournette's telling Justina Anderson, yeah, I'm going to play next week. Drug Marone's out there. He wasn't acting all concerned about it. But soft tissue injuries, man, they linger. And I was really worried that this was going to be an injury that we're going to have to worry about all year long. And he re-aggravated it week 4. And, you know, I wouldn't expect him to play for at least the next 4 weeks, you know. Maybe they consider putting him on the 8-week IR with a designation to return. Then we could have him back fresh, you know, hopefully 100%. We can go in there when we're really ready to make a run. Maybe in the last quarter of the season, we're out there trying to push for a bye week in the playoffs. Maybe we're still continuing for the AFC South because, you know, the Titans are looking really good right now. It's gonna be important, and obviously the playoffs are gonna be about. We're gonna need him there, and you know, Jaguars, I'm confident they can make the playoffs without Fournette. You know, I got his jersey. I like Fournette. You know, I'm confident they can make the playoffs without Fournette, but I don't know if they're going to be able to win the Super Bowl without Fournette. You know, he's a great player, and it sucks. You know, the situation that he's in sucks. No, I don't want to trade him. No, I don't want to cut him. You know, he's under contract for another 2 years after this, man. He's our bell cow. He's our guy. We're going to have to stick with him. It's just, situation he's in sucks. And, you know, sorry to have rubbed people the wrong way with some of the stuff that I said. Like I said, man, I'm a passionate fan just like you. You know, I say things that are out of passion, out of emotion, and that you know, you kind of hyperbole. You know what I mean? Didn't mean to do that. Sorry, I see you guys are wrong direction, but you know, Jaguars sitting at 3-1 right now. We're looking good so far. Kansas City next week, Dallas next week after. We got 12 games left in the regular season. A lot of season to play. So really excited about the year. We're starting off the year really good. Gotta keep pounding. But yeah, man. Thanks all for watching my video. Hopefully Fournette comes back healthy. You know, eventually. We'll see. But yeah, man. This is UCF Jaguar, witchandjag.com. Like the video, subscribe. See you guys next time.